pitch. Hunsinger sets it up to Beeson.
Bringing the hammer. Oh, heck yes.
With the screen, Emily Luce. Now the right corner, Megan Luce for three. Tickles the twine.
Yes.
Right there at the left side elbow, cross-court pass. Bell's right corner three is up.
And good. Camden Bell from
downtown. And fly ball there in the left field. The left fielder will miss the ball. Camden Gibson at third base. And that's going to be a high fly ball there in the deep left center field and down near the wall. So E-Step there with an RBI double. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to the WHS Network here on YouTube.com. Again, as always, I am Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Back here for our 15th season here on the WHS Network. We're happy to get this party started again. Another action-packed year of Wapahani Raider sports, starting off here with the volleyball team, which that's really the reason why we're here tonight. So we're going to go over the 2025 Wapahani Raider volleyball team here this evening, here with our season preview show. Again, we'll break down what the roster will look like. At least we know a general idea of what things will look like, and then not only that, but then we'll look at the roster or the departures from last year's team, what we have this year, but then the schedule, the layout of that from start to finish, all the way up until sectionals. So really looking forward to what this team can do. You know, I think that with last year's departures, obviously it was. No doubt it's going to be a different look to the team in some ways, but a lot of familiar faces still coming back for this year's team as well. So we will start off this broadcast here tonight. We'll take a look here at the 2025 Wapahani Raiders schedule, and it will look like this here for the Lady Raiders. So we'll have the home and season opener here in about a week and a half from now on August the 19th, as we will be taking on the Delta Eagles here at Raider Gymnasium. That'll be a 6 p.m. JV start time. Again, all these start times on here, except for the invites in the county tournament, obviously, they are all JV start times of 6 p.m. Following that home and season opener there against Delta, we'll take on LaPel. Then a couple nights later there on Thursday, August the 21st. And then following that, we will have Richmond on the road on August the 25th. August 26th, the very next night, again back on the road, but for our first MEC conference game of the season, as we'll be taking on the Blue River Vikings. Following that, another MEC matchup there on August the 28th, another Thursday evening right there against the Westdale Warriors here at home. Followed that by a Saturday matchup there. Obviously, our annual Wapahani Invitational at 9 a.m. Usually some good teams to go up against in those different matchups. Again, we don't have all of the teams for that Invitational quite yet, so we won't announce those team names as of right now. But once we get to that point, here within the next few weeks, then we'll have that here on the WHS Network. Next up here, definitely one that you always circle on the calendar. There on September the 2nd, we'll travel to Yorktown to take on the Tigers, and then back at home on September the 4th, taking on the Jay County Patriots at 6 p.m., followed by September the 9th at Hagerstown to take on the Hagerstown Tigers, then back at home again on September the 10th, as they will be taking on the Eastern Hancock Royals in an MEC matchup. Then the very next night, traveling to Ball Gym to take on the Muncie Burris Owls at 6 p.m., and then Redbeard's going to take it away here for the rest of the schedule.
Yeah, thanks, Marv. Yeah, we go on September 16th. We travel to Shenandoah for our conference game there. Then we're back home the next night on the 17th against Madison Grant. Then we're on the road for the third night in a row, for the third game in a row, should I say, against Randolph Southern for another conference game. Then the Lady Raiders will travel to Leo for their invitational on September 20th. Then we'll be at Daleville on September 23rd for another conference game. We're back home against Monroe Central on September 24th. Then we'll travel to Alexandria on the 25th. On September 30th will be senior night against Union. Then October 2nd to the 4th is the county tournament, which Wapahani will host. October 6th is we're at Winchester. Then we'll finish before sectionals on the 8th, October 8th that is, at Cowan for the conference. And then sectionals is October 14th to the 18th.
All right, so again, that's the rundown of how things will look throughout the regular season and then in a postseason play, which I did look earlier today. Our sectional 40 volleyball tournament will actually be held at Madison Grant this year, unless if something changes. That's what they had for the 2025-2026 state tournament schedule. So sectionals will be at Madison Grant. Last year we hosted it, and which, looking back to last year's team, I mean, what a great year we had. We ended up finishing the year 28-5. You're led by senior Sophia Beeson. You had Anne Marie Gibson, Ava Terrell. Were your three seniors last year, and really had great contributions, not only from them but from everybody. And no doubt, along that way, we finished with a perfect 9-0 MEC conference record. So we claimed the conference title last year, which is one of many goals that you set out to have every single season. But then we concluded the season like I mentioned. We took on Muncie Burris, a 4-set hard-fought ball game in which the Raiders unfortunately fell there in that one to the hands there of the Muncie Burris Owls. But still a great year, and what was I think some questions going into the season. We had a little bit of a down year beforehand, not necessarily record-wise. It just didn't seem like that we had everything that we needed every single ball game. We had kind of those ups and downs a little bit. And every team has them. But last year we kicked it in a high gear from the very start, and really had a great amount of success that this team could definitely be proud of. But again, you got those girls now graduated. Sophia Beeson now, she's playing volleyball at Bethel. Anne Marie Gibson, she's running at IU Indy. And then also Ava Terrell is playing volleyball at Vincennes. So those girls, they made a huge impact here at Wapahani. They were great to have here. They're going to continue to do great things now that they're going to be in college, and hopefully we'll be able to still catch up with them, see how they go, and we try to always follow all of our student athletes that continue on at the college level. Boys or girls, it's a really neat thing. Not everybody is able to reach that point in their careers, so we'll follow along with them. But some other departing notables, no more Emily Luce or Megan Luce. They transferred to another school, so we will not have them back as well. But we still have, still several returning key players from last year's varsity team that I think are going to play such a vital role for this year's team and the success. And not only that, but then I think to help the underclassmen reach their fullest potential as well. So you're going to still have the likes of Caroline Huntzinger, Olivia Walters, Tatum Dudley, Cammie Rivers, Callie Parker. Those are some of the main names that definitely got a good bulk of the playing time. But I think they're going to be extremely important. Obviously our head coach is back, Valerie Wells, her third season. Lexi Franks back as the assistant. We do have a new JV coach. That's Ryan Webster. But I think that, those coaches are going to get the very best out of all these young ladies. But those are the returning players that were, like I said, that were the key players to last year's team that I think will just another added, year of experience and success. Yep. I think we'll look to build off of that here for the 2025 campaign. And then the newcomers that also transferred over here. We had a couple that transferred away. We also brought in a couple. One of those is outside hitter Marin Hopkins. She transferred over from Yorktown. And then also the other one is Madeline Grove that transferred over from Delta. She's going to be a middle. Could be very valuable pieces. I think Marin definitely will be. I know I was talking to Madeline earlier in the day. She's looking like that potentially she might miss some time just from the transfer, aspect of things. Very logistical. I'm not even going to touch any of that. But she could miss a little bit of time, which would be very unfortunate, but still going to be, I think, a very valuable piece to this team. And hopefully, those two girls, along with, the key returning players will obviously bring a lot of success for this season. I know, even the JV players, I know you're getting ready to touch on them too.
Yeah.
Very valuable pieces as well.
Yeah, with some other players looking to fulfill new roles. We got Kaylee Clements, Addie Barnes, Journey Maines, Lainey Ledbetter, and Ella Recollect. They're looking to take the next step. Also, some incoming sophomores and freshmen are looking to get some knowledge from those veteran players, the seniors and things like that, take their games to the next level. Nora Williams, Nola Baker, which if Baker sounds familiar, she's Reese's younger sister.
Yep.
And Savannah Fitzgerald and Maya Mitchell.
And, so again, a perfect example right there. You have some of these other JV players from last year that, could potentially see some time at the varsity level. But even if not, even at least as far as right from the get-go, you still look to get better and to where, if your name is called, right, especially, middle to latter part of the year, if there's a situation that comes up, you can fulfill those roles, and so it's important, I don't know if I would put too much stock into varsity, JV. All these girls are so important, and the success of where this team goes this year. And so I think that, like I said, under the helm there of Valerie Wells, and they're in her third year, I think that her and her coaching staff will get these girls to to be in the right mindset. Because yet again, last year. That was a very successful year, but you want to have an even better year this year. I think that every year, no matter what sport it is, you want to look to build off the success that you had from the previous year, and so I think that there's definitely going to be a lot of excitement going into this season, knowing that that you do have some very good returning players, some girls that also transferred here, and then also some other role players down at the JV level that now could bump up this year. And really be a key factor in the success of this team. And so, hopefully, again, as I mentioned earlier, the your key leaders here, your seniors, your some of your juniors as well, are able to, I guess, give some of that knowledge, give some of that, some of that experience that they have had, and be able to share that with some of these underclassmen, some of these sophomores, some of these freshmen, and show them, hey, this is how we do things. This is how you get to be successful. This is how you win championships. You have to do X, Y, and Z. Now, with that being said, it all kind of has to come together, and that's why, and we say this all the time. We say it a lot with our basketball team, and how you have to have a family-style atmosphere. And being able to come together as a collective unit, to be able to come out here and, I guess in some ways maybe put ego aside. I don't know, if these girls or guys, even in our other sports, what egos they have. But, I think it's important, you got to kind of check that at the door and make sure that, we're doing things the right way. And that's what these girls, that's what they've got to do. That's just one step in the process of getting to where you want to get to. But I think having that family-style atmosphere, that togetherness as a group will only bolster this team into greater success, not only at the first part of the year, but even later in the year. Especially, when you get to those times of the season where you start to get a little bit tired, get a little bit run down. Practice is tough. You got games all the time. 2 or 3 games a week. Tough practices as well. This is not a very easy sport, and I've always said I think that volleyball has still always been very underrated. These girls, they have to go through a lot to put themselves in great shape, in good condition. Not to mention, to overall have a good skill set as well. You've got to come out here. It's not just passing the ball around, hitting the ball. There's a lot more to it than that. That you have to be fine-tuned once season starts and beyond. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these girls and see what they're able to do. And like I said, we're going to be along for the ride the whole entire way through. 15 years now here on the WHS network, so you can expect to catch the games live right here on our YouTube channel. As always, please make sure and subscribe to our Facebook and Twitter pages as well. Or follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, but then subscribe there to our YouTube channel for free, no cost at all. And not only that, but we would sure love to see you guys out here at the ball games. I think that all of our student athletes, no matter what sport it is, they want to see fans in the stands. They feed off of you guys. They feed off that energy, and we would love to see you out there, and I know that they would as well. So we would love to have you guys out here, not only on August the 19th, but every game, whether it be a home game or a away game. We want to see you guys there. They want to see you guys there. And like I said, they feed off of that energy out there on the floor, especially when times are tough or when times are going good. Yeah. They build off, they feed off that excitement, and they feel it out there on the court. So we need you guys here, and we look forward to having you guys again here on August the 19th, right here at home for our home and season opener against the Delta Eagles. There with JV start time of 6 p.m. and then the varsity game to follow. Again, just some last things right here. Again, we do have a couple new things coming up this year. Obviously, we got brand new shirts. We got those here within the last week or so. Got some new equipment. We have a brand new audio mixer that we're using. So hopefully we're not bombarding the volume too loud right now. But a brand new audio mixer. Our previous one still works, but it was aged. It was our very original from when I first started, and then later on, when he came on board, we still had good old original, and it was working fine. But again, some of it was starting to show its age a little bit. Got a new headset. Got you one there as well. And so we're eager to get this game or get the season away with all the games coming up here within the next week and a half. And like I said, we hope to see you guys out here. But if you can't make it, then you know where to find us at. So should be a great year, and we're looking forward to it. We hope you guys are as well. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with us here on our 2025 Wapahani Raiders volleyball season preview show. Again, we'll be back at it on August 19th, Wapahani and Delta from Raider Gymnasium here on the WHS Network. Until then, we say good night, and we'll see you all next time here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.